we're going to come into a seat, whatever is comfortable for you. And you can bring your legs as is, our legs out, legs extended, whatever feels good to you. I'm going to have my legs bent and bring them in towards my chest and just rest on top of my thighs here. So wherever you are, really lengthen your spine and then relax into this shape. Maybe close your eyes and begin to quiet your mind. Notice your breath here. Notice your inhales and exhales, and not to change your breath, just notice, be aware, and be present. Stay with yourself. Today's practice is about hip openers and the emotions towards them. So hip opening postures do not just release muscle tension, but are known to release emotional tension as well. It's normal to literally feel a certain way during these postures. Not to expect that it will happen, but beware if it does. And if it does, to accept and allow it to release without judgment. Just be mindful and be kind to yourself. From this, begin to deepen your breath through your nose. Inhale, fill your belly up. And exhale through your nose, let your belly fall. Inhale again, fill your belly. And exhale. Inhale, release your fingertips beside you, and then open your knees out. Soles of feet meet here. And you can bring your feet closer or further away from you. From this, inhale, lengthen, belly button in towards your spine. And if you like, you can stay here, or exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward. So just fill this out, and you don't have to do a deep forward fold. You can be all the way up if that works. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, maybe fall more into this shape. Inhale to rise, fingertips beside you, and then extend your right leg long. So you can bring your leg closer towards the center or further out, it doesn't matter. Really flex your right foot here, so activate your foot, and then slide your left foot in towards you. And again, it doesn't have to be touching your thigh. From this, bring your right hand down. And for this, I might bring this down here. Bring your right hand down, left hand reaches up, and then exhale, begin to side bend towards the right. Reach your top arm to the right, and then peel your chest up. And you can look wherever's comfortable for you, so you can look down, center, or up. Stay with your breath wherever you are. Then inhale to rise and come on to the other side. So left leg long, flex your foot here. Right knee bends in. And when you're ready, place your left foot or left hand on behind you. Right arm reaches up. And then exhale, side bend towards the left. Top arm reaches towards the left as well. And peel your chest up towards the ceiling. Again, looking wherever is comfortable for you. Stay with your breath. And inhale, rise back up. Extend both legs. And again, they can be as close to the center as you like. Flex your feet, very active feet. And this time, try to draw your toes towards the back. So you're trying to reach your toes backwards here. Fingertips beside you. Inhale, lengthen. And if you like, you can stay here. Doesn't matter. Otherwise, exhale, fold forward. And you can come onto your hands, your forearms, whatever feels good. Imagine a long back here. So you're hinging from your hips. And sit bones are grounded onto the mat. Release any tension in your neck or your shoulders. Inhale to rise. Bring your hands behind you and swing your left leg forward. Come onto the long side of your mat. From this, keep your feet activated, and you can bend your knees as much as you'd like here. Fingertips beside you. Inhale, lengthen, shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale, hinge from your hips. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe fold a bit deeper. So you're reaching your stomach towards your thighs. Don't worry about reaching your head to your knees or hands to feet. Just try to reach your stomach to your thighs. And then release into the shape. Again, notice if you're holding any unnecessary tension, maybe in your face or your shoulders, your neck. Inhale to rise, and then swing your legs behind you. Come into all fours here. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And take your time while you get here. Maybe sway your hips from side to side, left to right. Fill this out. When you find your all fours, begin to lower your stomach. Reach your chest forward and up. Lift your tailbone. Use your palms to lift your chest even higher. So ground into all corners of your palms and lift through. So energy in your palms here. Exhale, begin to round your tailbone vertebrae by vertebrae until your chin reaches towards your chest. Again, bringing energy into your palms. Spread your shoulder blades away from each other. Inhale to come back to neutral. And then from this, you can circle your hips out, warm your hips here. Whatever feels good, whatever your body needs before you get into a downward facing dog. So maybe extend one leg out and the other. Again, just filling this out. And when you're ready, find some stillness in your all fours. Ground down into your palms here, so all four corners. Spread your fingers wide. Grip your fingertips firmly into the mat, almost as if you're trying to claw the mat. So just imagine you're a cat here trying to claw into this mat. And then externally rotate your arms. So that means bringing your creases forward, elbows to the back. Ground down into your palms and begin to round your upper back. And when you do this, notice if you're starting to clench your neck. If you do, just allow that to go. So crown of head reaches forward. Belly button in towards your spine. Tuck your toes. And then lift your knees off of the mat. Begin to extend to a comfortable level for you. And you can have your knees as bent as you like here. From this, maybe reposition your feet a little bit further back. See what works for you. And then you can begin to walk your dog here. Sway your hips. Notice if you're lifting your chin, just allow your head to hang heavy. You can even nod your head yes, shake your head no, whatever feels good. Stay with your breath. And then when you're ready, come into stillness and notice if you lost your external rotation in your arms. So draw your creases forward. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. And then use your palms to lift your hips even higher. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend your knee and then begin to circle your knee in one direction, so opening your hip. And if this is too much, you can always lower your knee down onto the mat while you open your hip. And then maybe in the opposite direction. Find some stillness, square your hips, knees meet. Then shift your weight forward, draw your knee in towards your chest, round your upper back, and then step your foot through. Lower your left knee and come up to your fingertips. Shift your right hip back, left hip forward, and then draw your knees in towards your center line. From this, engage your core, inhale, and lift your torso up and away from your front thigh. Lengthen the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, and maybe shift your hips forward. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe smile. With your back toes tucked in, bring some weight, and when you're ready, lift your back knee and begin to extend. Square your hips and kick your left heel towards the back of the mat. Stay with your breath. And then bring some weight into your right foot, engage your core, and then step through into stand. Arms up high, tuck your tailbone in, and exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you like here. And then from this, since this is your first forward fold, maybe widen your stance as we just stay here and sway from side to side. Kind of like your downward facing dog. Just feel what works for you. Release any tension in your neck. And when you're ready, if your feet are out wide, just heel toe them back in. Inhale, lift up halfway, whatever that is for you. So maybe your hands are on your thighs, your shins are on the mat. Avoid your knees, no knees. And then shift your hips back, crown of head reaches forward, engage your core, and draw your shoulders away from your ears. Bend your knees and lower your hands onto the mat firmly. Step your right foot back and your left foot back, hips high. Inhale, inside out. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Bend your knee, and again, you can always lower your right knee onto the mat. Maybe circle your knee in one direction. and in the other direction. Find some stillness, square your hips, shift your weight forward, draw your knee in towards your chest, and step through. Lower your right knee, come up to your fingertips, shift your right hip forward, left hip back, and then draw your knees in towards your center line. Engage your core, and when you feel ready, lift your torso up and away. Lengthen here, and maybe shift your hips even further forward. Feel this out, and you can always reposition however you may need. Stay with your breath, and when you're ready, with your back toes tucked in, begin to extend your back leg. Kick your heel towards the back. And notice if you're holding any tension in your face or your shoulders, just allow that to release. Open your chest. Still keeping a deep bend in your left knee. Bring some weight into your left foot. Engage your core and step through. Arms up high. Tuck your tailbone in. And exhale, hinge from your hips. Fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, whatever that is for you. So long back. Bend your knees, place your palms onto the mat, and step your left foot back and your right. Hips high. Reposition however you may need. Take a deep breath. Press your palms firmly into the mat. Lift your hips even higher. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Bend your knee, flex your foot, and stack your hips one over another. So right hip over left. And notice if you're bringing weight into your left palm, just equalize weight in both palms here. Square your hips, knees meet. Listen carefully. You're going to shift your weight forward, draw your knee in, and then step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So the edge of the mat. Lower your left knee. You can come up to your fingertips at this point. Shift your right hip back, left hip forward. And you can stay as is and just fill this out. If this is too much, you can always come to a low lunge as well, so bringing your foot back in towards center. If you like to take it a little bit further, you can come on to the edge of your foot, so the right side of your foot. Sole of foot is off the mat. And if you'd like to take it even further, you can lower onto your forearms. So just listen to your body. Listen to what it needs. Deep inhales and deep exhales. You can even untuck your back toes or keep them tucked, whatever you choose. And if you're on your forearms, just come back up, ground your right foot, and bring some weight into your left palm. Lift your right foot just enough so that you can heel toe your right foot back into a lunge here. Come up to your fingertips, bring some weight into your fingertips, and lift your left knee off the mat, so toes tucked here, and then pivot your back foot so that the toes face the long side of the mat. So we're getting ready for Warrior Two, if you know what that is. Engage your core, belly button in towards your spine. When you're ready, lift your torso up and away and realign however you may need. Heels are in alignment here. Draw your shoulders away, arms extended out in opposite directions. And notice if your torso is leaning forward, just equalize here so hips and shoulders are in alignment here. Inhale, extend your front leg, shift your hips to the back and torso forward. From this, exhale, side bend towards the front thigh. Arm reaches up, top arm, and right arm can either be at your hips, your thighs, or your shin, or even at the inside of your leg. So when you're in this shape, just imagine there's a string pulling you at the rib cage all the way up. So still a lot of activation. Stay with your breath. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Bend your right knee, pivot your back foot, and place your palms back onto the mat. Step your right foot back behind you, hips up high. Inhale, sigh it out. Palms grounded into the mat, lift your hips up high. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Bend your knee, flex your foot, and then stack your hips one over another. Exhale as you square your hips, knees meet. And again, bring your knee in towards your chest, and then step your foot at the outside of your mat, outside of your hand. Lower your right knee, and you can come up to your fingertips at this time. Shift your right hip forward, left hip back. Just feel this out. Again, every side is different, so just really listen to your body. Be very present. If you'd like to take a little bit further, you can always come onto the side of your foot. So open your hip even more. Knee opens up. And again, just listen here. This might be where you're at. This might be where you want to stay. If you'd like to take it a bit further, you can come onto your forearms. And release your neck and shoulders. You may notice emotions that do arise in these shapes, whether it be frustration, anger, sadness. Just notice, be aware, don't let them hide. Allow them to release and let go. If you are in your forearms, come back up to your hands. Ground onto your left foot. Bring some weight into your right hand. Lift your left and then heel toe your foot back to center. Come up to your fingertips. Bring some weight into your fingertips. Tuck your back toes. Lift your right knee and then pivot your back foot so that your toes are facing the long side of the mat. Inhale, engage your core and lift your torso up and away. Arms extended, readjust however you need. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and open your chest here. Again, seeing if your shoulders and hips are in alignment here. And traditionally, it's to look forward in Warrior Two, but Again, you look wherever is comfortable for you. Inhale, extend your front leg. Shift your hips to the back and torso forward. From this side bend towards your front thigh. And again, you can be up here, here, or here. Just avoid your knee. Right arm reaches up, energetically reaching through your fingertips. Stay with your breath. Inhale to come back up. Bend your knee. Rotate your foot. Palms face down onto the mat. And then step your left foot back behind you, hips high. Stay here for a breath. And we're going to go into pigeon. So if you have any knee injuries, I recommend that you lie down, and in a moment, I will give you a substitute. Otherwise, inhale, lift your right leg up, flex your foot and bend your knee, stack your hips. Listen carefully. Exhale, square your hips, and then draw your right knee in towards your right hand, your foot towards your left hand. Lower your left knee, untuck your toes, and you can shift your foot closer towards your hip or closer towards your hand, whatever works for you. So you might be here. If you are lying down or you rather do a lying down position, feel free. You're going to bend your left knee, put your right ankle on top of your left thigh. From this, flex your feet and begin to lift your legs off the mat. If you are in pigeon, inhale, lengthen here. And if you'd like, exhale, fold forward. And notice, try and see if you can square your hips here. So left hip forward, right hip back. Wherever you are, stay with your breath, stay present. Again, just be aware of any emotions that may arise. And breathe in any tension that you may be holding as well. Breathing in and letting them release on your exhale. And you can always come out of these shapes whenever you feel the need. No pressure. If you are on your forearms, lift yourself up. And if you are lying down, just come to a seat. From this, bring your right hip down, swing your left leg around. So left foot is extended, right knee is bent underneath your left leg, like so. Now you can stay here and bring your fingertips beside you and lengthen. Or if you like, you can bend your right knee and stack your legs over each other. Different options here. Wherever you are, really lengthen. And if you like, exhale, fold forward. So you can even fold forward if your leg is extended, your left leg. Wherever you are, really keep flexion in your legs. And just release. Notice if your chin's lifted, just allow it to go. Draw your chin in towards your chest. If you fold it forward, inhale, lift. And if you are lying down instead, you can come to a lying position. If you are doing pigeon, just swing your left leg around, plant your hands onto the mat, and then lift your right foot back, hips high. Maybe shake it out. Release any tension you may have been holding. And come into stillness. Lift your hips high. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Bend your knee, flex your foot, and stack your hips. Exhale, square. Draw your knee in towards your left hand, and then your foot towards your right hand. Lower your left or right knee onto the mat, and you can untuck your toes or keep them tucked. Again, if you are lying down, bend your right knee, left ankle on top of your thigh, and then draw your knees in, feet flexed. If you are in pigeon, inhale, lengthen. And if you like, exhale, maybe fold forward. Again, noticing if your hips need to be square here. And also, again, if you'd rather have your foot closer to your hip, then please do so. Stay with your breath. Allow yourself to be vulnerable in this shape. Allow yourself to just let go. If you are lying down, slowly come to a seat with your left leg bent and right leg over your left ankle. If you're in pigeon and you're on your forearms, lift yourself back up. Wherever you are, come onto your left hip, swing your right leg around. Flex your right foot here. Left foot is also flexed. Inhale, lengthen. If you like, you can bend your right knee and stack your legs over each other. Just fill this out. Again, staying lengthened here, crown of head reaches up, sit bones grounded onto the mat. If you want to take it a little bit further, exhale, fold forward. And release your chin. Again, you can do this while your right leg is extended as well and fold over. Different options. If you fold it forward, inhale, lift, fingertips beside you. And begin to extend your legs, bend your knees, soles of feet meet the mat. Place your hands behind you, fingers facing towards your sit bones. Begin to hollow your belly. Draw your chin down towards your chest and roll vertebrae by vertebrae onto the mat. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And give yourself a hug. Maybe rock from side to side, if that feels good, or you can stay in stillness. Maybe circle your knees out in one direction and in the other. Release any tension in your lower back. Release your arms out to the side, either in a cactus or T. Engage your core, belly button in towards your spine, and on your exhale, shift your knees towards the right into a twist. Ground down into your left shoulder blade. So that may mean you need to lift one knee or the other so that you can ground down into your left shoulder blade. And again, you can look wherever is comfortable for you. Inhale, engage your core, draw your knees back in. And exhale, opposite side, knees to the left. Again, ground down your shoulder blade onto the mat, your right shoulder blade this time. Maybe lift your knees up to do so. Inhale, engage your core. Draw your knees back in towards your chest. And if you've had enough hip openers today, then you can find something that works for you. Otherwise, open your knees out, flex your feet, and then lift your feet, face your feet towards the ceiling. Place your hands either at the backs of your thighs, your shins, or your feet. And ground your tailbone onto the mat. Begin to extend your tailbone towards the back of your mat and reach the crown of your head forward. So really, really long spine here. And you can stay here or maybe play around and rock from side to side. Maybe extend one leg out and then the other. Whatever feels good to you. Just play this out. And of course, you can always stay in stillness. And once you're ready, come back to a stillness. Release your hands onto the mat. Bend your knees and draw them in. Extend one leg out and the other. And allow yourself a lot of space here. So maybe sprawl your feet off of the mat. And same with your hands, palms face up. Close your eyes. And just go inwards. Stay quiet for a few more moments. Allow yourself to just be. Notice any tension you're holding. So begin to scan your body, maybe your forehead, your jaw, maybe your shoulders, your wrists, your fingers. Notice if you're holding any tension in your hips, your thighs, your calves. your ankles or toes. Just let it all release. Allow yourself to sink into the mat. Surrender. If you notice your mind beginning to wander, just come back to your breath, or maybe a certain sound that keeps you present during this moment. There are many obstacles and problems we face that we are unable to fix or change. From this, many emotions may arise. This is natural and organic and should never be looked down upon. We should be aware and welcome their presence. However, they should never lead us. We may not have control over our environments, but we will always have control over our emotions. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, feel free. If you would like to come out, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Rotate your wrists and ankles. Maybe reach your arms back behind you, legs together, and reach in opposite directions. Neutralize. Draw your knees in towards your chest and then roll onto whatever side you choose into a fetal position. Stay here for one breath. As you inhale, Lift yourself back up into a seat, whatever seat you'd like. Just close your eyes for another moment. Stay with your breath, stay present. And when you're ready, inhale, lift your arms up high, bring energy through your hands, bring your palms together, bring that energy down towards your heart. And again, inhale, lift, lift, lift. Energy rises up in between your hands. Place your hands together. Exhale, draw that energy towards your heart and transfer to your heart. Namaste.